So next I'm going to give you a little demo on how to import something. So say if you have already made a character, or you take a picture of a character you drew in a notebook or something, for your avatar you can import it and then decide how you want to draw it. I'm going to show you two ways. So here's what we'll do. We go to up here at the top menu bar, File, Import, Import to Library. You can import to Stage, which means it will appear right here, but I like Import to Library. If you import it to Stage, it will be added to the library, but I just think it's a more elegant way of doing things. So File, Import, Import to Library. Remember, if you don't have library, just go up to Window and click on your library underneath here. It would be here. Okay, so here's my desktop, and so you won't have to look at any of my drawings. I'm going to choose some things that that I am interested in. So import to library. I like to think of that we are our influences, and we sort of live in a monoculture right now, meaning that we all sort of are drawing our influences from the same place. So we have to reach a little bit further, and try and get a little weird, and find influences maybe that other people don't have, either through reading or your own strange interests, or chase down something new. Don't just be the person who's like, I like Disney and Studio Ghibli. I mean, everyone likes those. I like Japanese animation. Of course you do. I think, especially in college, now is the time to get a little bit esoteric. One of the things I like to do to look for influences is to look through history. And one of the things I really like is medieval art because it's so weird looking. So I'm just going to, so now here's my library. I'm going back and forth. Here's my library, and I'm going to show you. If I click on, I just imported these into the library. If I click on each of these, you can see some possibilities. It's a bunch of images of medieval cats that I love because they are so weird looking. Okay, so I'm going to go with this guy because he seems the most sort of cartoony, also fairly simple. We want to start with something fairly simple. I'm just going to take him and drag him on the stage. But before I do that, I'm going to want to nest my layer. Now, I'm going to talk a lot about this, and it won't be till later on that you'll understand why this is really important to do. But right now, we are on the first level. There's only one thing up here. It's called Scene 1. What we want to do is we want to create another layer to work within that isn't that scene. Doing so will give us a lot more versatility. You will see why later. So for now, you're just going to have to trust me on this. So what we're going to do, here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to choose some different colors. First of all, for the outline, this would be the outline. I'm going to choose a kind of dark gray. And for the fill color, the inside color, I'm going to choose a sort of light bluish green, I guess. I don't know. Could be pink. Nope, we're going to go with that. No, actually, I want it to be a little bit on the orangey yellow side. I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the yellowy green. Okay, so after all that, and I think I want that just a little bit darker, just a hair. So you can see on the bottom there, on the bottom would be your old color, and then you move it around and that would be your new color. So I'm going to go, okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my brush. The brush is going to, this is pressure sensitive. If you have a pen tool, this can be really nice. Here we are in properties. Let's look at a few things about the brush. We get to choose. Right now, my brush, let's undo this. Move those around. Right now, my brush is kind of a calligraphy brush. Let's not talk about that yet. Let's just make this line. Okay, that's fine. And what I'm going to do is use my selection tool. Select it. You can see the dots on it. That means it's selected. Look up at the top of your keyboard, F8. Just hit F8, and we can convert it to a symbol. All right, we're going to call this, I'm going to call this cat, because it's my cat. You're going to be working with whatever drawing you're working with. I'm going to click OK. Registration's fine. We definitely want a graphic symbol. Make sure it says graphic. We do not use movie clips or buttons in this class. Graphic. If you ever come upon that you're having problems, it might be because you didn't use a graphic symbol. Okay, we're going to click OK. And you can see that it is no longer just unsymbolized, because it's got this little thing on the interior. So if we zoom in like a lot, you can see, and there's this box around it. Now if we double click on this, now you can see we are not on the scene layer anymore. We're inside of that graphic symbol, and this is a really good place to work. So if we go back to show frame, that's where we are. And since we never wanted that dot to begin with, all we're going to do is grab our eraser. We can also, if we go back to B, we can also see we're on the brush, just hit E, and we're going to erase it. Now, why did we go to all that problem? Because we did not want to be doing this work in the scene. That's why we want to do it here. If we do it in the scene, we don't have any versatility. You'll see why later. But okay, so again, I'll explain that later. It'll be more and more obvious by the end of this class. You'll know why. But so for now, you'll just have to take my word. I have my brush tool selected, and because of that, there's eraser, there's brush. Okay, because of that, there's all these different things that I can work with. Here's the pressure sensitive. That can be helpful if you have a pen tool. The brush size, oh my goodness, that's way too big. I'm going to go with 6. And it could even be 4. That would be fine too. Mini size, that's the smallest size there is. So because the kind of brush I'm using is this calligraphy style instead of just like a regular brush, which makes sense to me for this particular thing. Smoothing, let me just show you how smoothing works. Here's no smoothing. You ready? We put it on low, so it's absolute worst. So I'm just going to go rah, 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 rah. Okay, that's low smoothing. Now let's go high smoothing. Rah, 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 rah. You can't tell here. What about if I'm trying to draw a circle? So I'm going to draw the best circle I can. Not very good. Okay, go to high. You see how it sort of smooths it out? We zoom in a little bit. 200. Now I'm pressing the space bar and I get this little hand. You see that hand? This is very nice. Look at how this is all jaggy. That's all like lovely and smooth, like I have a big, beautiful calligraphy brush. Okay, so you can see I'm actually going to keep my smoothing at high for this. Normally you'd want it at around 50%. I'm going to undo, 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 undo. Go back to show frame. All right, so I have nothing here. I'm going to go to my library. I think we chose this guy. I'm going to drop that right onto the stage like this. And so if you go down to your layer 1, you can see that we'll undo that. So this frame is blank. There's nothing here. If I drag this on the stage, now you can see it kind of filled up. There's something there. And if I click on this little dot under the eye, it disappears. So it doesn't disappear completely. Like if we rendered this, it would still show up. That's another story. We do not need to worry about that right now. So there it is. We're going to go back to properties. We're in library now. We'll go back to properties. Now if I use my selection tool and click on this, I clicked down here on the frame. One of the things we can do that can be really helpful is go up to, so again, just to show you, this is regular properties. I just clicked on the frame, clicked on the image. It showed me this bitmap information. Now if I click on this actual frame down here, it brings up color effect. Now if I go to alpha, alpha is basically how transparent or not it is. So if you go to alpha, I'm going to bring it down to 50%. And that makes it easier to create a drawing over it. So if you do your own drawing, you're going to probably want to click on the frame it's on and then go to, about 50%. All right, now we don't want to draw directly on this drawing. So we want to draw on a new layer. Just like in Photoshop, we can create a new layer. And we can call this hand drawn. And I'm going to show you how to really quickly do a little hand drawing on this. Hand drawn drawing. Sorry. Okay, so I'm clicking on my brush tool. I've got it at 6. That might be too big. I don't know. We can zoom in a lot. Let's go to 200. I'm pressing the space bar to get that hand, moving it in the center. If you zoom in, it makes the drawing a lot easier. Okay, so now I have my brush tool, and I know it's going to be this color. So that's good. I'm just going to start working on the outline. Yeah. Now, a lot of you guys who are good with Photoshop will be sort of annoyed with Animate's interface. And some of you will want to end up importing things from Photoshop, which, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to fault you there. But for now, what I want you to do is actually do this in Animate so that you learn these tools. And then later on, if you decide you don't want to use them, I didn't like that line, I'm going to undo, Command Z. All right, then you can change your mind. All right, so making my lines. Doing this really quickly so that I don't bore the heck out of you. Is it too late? It's too late, isn't it? Oh well, you didn't need that heck anyway, did you? All right, it's hard to tell which way that tongue's going. It's the least of our worries, right? All right, I want to make this as one smooth line, so I'm going to make this a little smaller so that I can do this whole line as one smooth line. Here we go, hopefully. Haha, no, that wasn't smooth. Okay, we'll try that again. Ooh, sometimes it's hard to get things. Maybe if I start over here. No, I didn't like that either. Whoop, Command Z. All right, so how did I get that tool? B for brush. Here we go. Whoa. Oh, sometimes. All right, we're just gonna put up with this as is. Okay. He's a little bit lumpy. Who knows what these are? Are they feathers? Fluffs? That's what I love about medieval art. It just is really nutty, and it makes very little anatomical sense, which kind of fits well into the world of cartoon. And I'm surprised more people don't use art of the Middle Ages for that purpose. Let's zoom this sucker in again. Pressing the space bar, get that hand, and then it snaps right back to the tool you were just using. And get these toes or whatever the heck they are in here. All right, well, this is, fine. I'm going to fill it in now. Got to choose a color. I think I already decided that I wanted this color for the interior, so I'm going to switch the colors, use my paint bucket. Here it is. Just kind of now, I'm sure we're going to run into a problem, so which is good because you're going to run into a problem one of these days. By the way, what we should have done is we should have locked down the layer underneath so we don't accidentally do some things on this layer. Every time you finish a layer, lock it down. Now you can't mess with it. Okay, we're still on this layer though, as you can see, our hand-drawn layer, so I'm gonna dump. Okay, that worked out fine. Whoa, that's a little more yellow than I wanted. Let's click on that. Let's go up here. Oh, right, because I did that on purpose. What a terrible color. What was I thinking? Why didn't you guys warn me? Okay, we'll do that one. Try that. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't bother me too much. Do this one. Oh, wow, those are all working. Yeah, okay. This one? That one's working too. And this one, do you see how it won't work? I'm trying to click in this little arm. You can tell why if we zoom in 800%, use our hand, and you see how it's not closed up here? When a form is not closed up, it will not let you use the paint bucket. Well, here's a solution. We could take our brush and finish up that line, but we could also go close, right now it's on don't close gaps. We can go to close small gaps. Is that a small gap? Let's find out. Yeah, it is. See, and there it is. It closed it for us. Another option would be we could actually grab, do you see how I have my selection tool? And when I get to this corner, you can see it makes that sort of L shape to the lower right. Well, I'm just going to take that and grab it. Drag it over, and then can I grab that one? Now, I just dragged them over. Okay, so now I have to do the inside of the eyes and stuff. I'm gonna nuance this too. Do you see how when I point at this one little spot here, I get the sort of arc to the lower right of my pointer tool, and here I get that corner symbol. The arc lets you bend things. You see how I bent that in? And I want to actually bend something here to give it like, whoops, okay. Deselect. Give it some nuance. Some nuance. See how you can kind of play with your lines here, try and make them a little more elegant. But you can end up creating problems. It has happened before. So you have to know when well enough is good. Anyway, just showing you how you can nuance these things a little bit. All right, so let's choose a good color for the tongue. I think that's fine. Boom. And good color for the eye. I have the eyes kind of at this yellowy color, which I do like. So, kerboom, kerboom. And now let's look at this psychopathic cat. And I'm going to do one more thing. Selection tool. I still don't like what's going on here. Okay. That's a little bit better. I mean, you know, you could spend all your life. The reason why everything's so weird is that these are like vector shapes. And so those of you who work with vector shapes know they're not the same thing as like just using paintbrush tool in Photoshop. It's more like Illustrator. And so for some of these there's you know, corners that we can't see. All right, so let's take a look at it. Show frame. Looks good. Now, if we want, we can go here, control click on this layer, go to guide. Guide simply means it won't show up when we export it. Turn off the eyeball. There's our little character. That's my what do you call it? That's my avatar. I'm gonna do one more thing. File. Oh, let's give it another layer. I'm just gonna put like a little shape behind it. So since it's kind of cream colored ish, I'm gonna make it sort of a kind of purplish color, I guess. It's weird. I don't like the color purple usually, but I use it a lot because it's so great when you mix it with other colors. Okay. I say okay. And then the outline for it should be, I'm going to make that gold, a kind of gold. Okay, so I'm going to use the rectangle tool, stroke, which is the outline. I'm going to set that at, that's fine. You can also choose the sort of style you want. You want it to be like a regular solid line. You want it to be dashed, dotted, ragged, stippled, hatched. Maybe I do. I don't know. Can't stop me. All right, so I'm going to that's fine, but now I want the stroke to be bigger. Let's try that again. Oh, no, I don't want that kind of style. How about this thing? I don't know what that is. A little bit smaller too. Okay. No, because what I want, let's go with this sort of scrumbly stippled line. Okay, let's try that. Oh, I don't like that. Let's make this more yellow. And here we go. Dot size large? No. Medium? Random sizes? Dense. Very dense. Okay. Let's try it again. Come on. It's taking its time. I'm undoing it. Oh, I think I do like that, but I'm undoing it because it was the wrong dealio. Come on. It's really, it doesn't like doing this anymore. But, all right, there's one other thing I'm going to do. I'll show you in a second. I think that using the Animate and the QuickTime is making it tired, but I just want to show you one more thing. Okay, that's good. I'm letting go. It's good size. And give me 2 secs. Okay. I'm going to turn this on outline. So as you can see, I'm going to lock down my hand drawn, which I should have done already, so I can't mess around with it. I'm going to put this layer on outline, and now you can see I just have the outline on it, and now I can mess with it. So let's go. I'm going to keep the top. I'm going to move these in, but bulge them out, bulge them out. I want to make it sort of look like a, you know, like a coat of arms or something. Move this up, and bend it down. You know, this would be like my Game of Thrones house. The weird cat. The house of the weird cats. Only cat ladies can belong there. All right, let's see how it looks. He really doesn't like that stippled line. Neato, huh? It's a little, I need more room on the right. More room on the right. So, if we take this and just grab it. This is a sub-selection tool. So I just moved it over. And now you can see where the corners are when you use the sub-selection tool, in case you ever lose your corners. Okay, so turn it back on. There's House Crazy Cat. And voila. I still don't like, maybe it needs like a sun or something. It needs something else here maybe. Anyway, that's